Y'all don't know that boy Choppa, but I do.
Everybody see YoungBoy ain't mess with nobody. The boy doing his thing. But NLE Choppa, instead of him doing his own thing, he said, you know what, I'm gonna attack this man, I'm gonna mess with him.
Say, bro, man, you be relevant, and I said what I said, bro. You need a like.
Y'all think I'm crazy. I'm the fool. Okay, watch how this shit pan out. And we really gonna see who really the fucking won.
NLE Choppa, listen to me. You can't go walk the runway with that little walk. You remember that walk you had? I think I'm a bad. You can't come back for that walk.
Wipe that spit off your face.
The tension between NLE Choppa and NBA YoungBoy has been simmering for years, but this latest round of disrespect took the feud into a whole new chapter. It started when YoungBoy dropped another track loaded with subliminals that weren't even trying to be subtle. The tone was sharp, the jabs were targeted, and fans instantly knew exactly who he was aiming at. YoungBoy is known for sending shots without naming names, but this time the energy was so direct that the entire culture felt the impact within minutes. The internet reacted instantly, clips spreading, fan pages debating, YouTube reactors breaking down every line bar for bar. And right in the middle of that explosion, everybody started asking the same thing. When is NLE Choppa gonna respond? For a while, Choppa stayed quiet. No tweets, no stories, no quick comments, just silence, which only made things more intense. People assumed he was plotting, others said he didn't care. But most fans believed that Choppa wasn't going to let this one slide, not after everything that's happened over the years. Their history goes deeper than a simple diss, and this new line from YoungBoy reignited old wounds that had never fully healed. The reason this beef keeps returning is simple. These two rappers came up in the same era, fighting for space in the same lane, grabbing the attention of the same audience. Both built reputations off raw emotion, intense energy, and a fan base that treats every move like a battle cry. That alone is enough to create friction, but mixed in subtle disrespect over the years, social media tension, and a couple of indirect shots, and you get a fire that never really goes out. This latest diss track wasn't just a random emotion. It was layered with references, old frustrations, and the type of competitive energy that makes fans pick sides. YoungBoy's delivery made it clear he wanted Choppa to hear it, and more importantly, he wanted the world to react, and they did, instantly. The moment the track dropped, thousands of comments poured in calling for Choppa to address it. His name trended on Twitter without him even saying a word. That silence became part of the conversation. Was he ignoring it? Was he preparing something massive? Was he waiting for the right time? Every theory grew louder as hours passed. Then out of nowhere, Choppa finally broke his silence. Not with a diss track, not with anger, but with a message that changed the entire mood around the situation. He spoke in a tone that felt controlled, focused, and strategic. Instead of feeding into negativity, he flipped the narrative and reminded everyone that he moves on his own timing, not YoungBoy's. It wasn't the explosive outburst fans expected. It was measured, subtle, and calculated. And that's what shocked everybody. The feud wasn't over. In fact, Choppa's first comment only added more gasoline, and the hip-hop world braced for whatever was coming next. When NLE Choppa finally responded, he didn't choose chaos, he chose clarity. In a series of messages that instantly went viral, Choppa let it be known that he heard everything, understood everything, but wasn't going to react emotionally. That alone took the internet by surprise because everyone expected him to fire back immediately with a diss track or an aggressive freestyle. Instead, Choppa spoke on timing, focus, and staying locked in on his mission. Fans didn't know how to take it. Was this maturity or was this the calm before the storm? Choppa's tone made it sound like he wasn't backing down but wasn't lowering himself to every provocation either. He hinted that real battles aren't fought on impulse, they're fought when the moment calls for it. He even said the industry thrives on conflict because it gets views, clicks, and streams, suggesting that he wasn't going to let the culture manipulate him into reacting for entertainment. That message alone hit differently. It showed a version of Choppa people forget exists. The strategic thinker, the calculated mover, the artist who knows when to strike and when to stay silent. But let's be clear, Choppa didn't sound scared, hesitant, or passive. He sounded confident, calm, steady, like someone who knew he could respond whenever he wanted and shake the room, and fans heard that loud and clear. Within minutes of speaking out, millions of views pushed his response across Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Commentators began analyzing every sentence like it was a chess move. They said Choppa was trying to take the higher road publicly while preparing something else privately. Whether that was true or not, the mystery only added fuel. Meanwhile, YoungBoy's supporters kept pushing the narrative that Choppa didn't want smoke. They said his message wasn't a response, it was a retreat. They claimed YoungBoy's diss landed too hard, too deep, too precise for Choppa to counter. And as always, the fan-base war only grew louder. YoungBoy's fans claimed victory, Choppa's fans defended him, and neutral fans were just entertained by the chaos. Then blogs noticed something important. Choppa had been in the studio heavily the past few weeks. Clips emerged of him recording late nights. Videos surfaced of him previewing new melodies and aggressive flows. Even though nothing was confirmed, a growing rumor suggested Choppa had a diss track locked and loaded. He was just waiting for the right moment to let it loose. This speculation only made the situation bigger. It became less about the diss itself and more about the psychological war. YoungBoy fired publicly, Choppa fired back indirectly. Now both camps waited, watching each other's next move closely, like a silent standoff in hip-hop spotlight. The chess game had officially begun. As fans dissected every layer of Choppa's response, the internet started revisiting the roots of their tension. This feud didn't come out of nowhere. It's been building quietly for years with subliminals, interviews, live streams, and unspoken tension bubbling under the surface. The hip-hop world rarely forgets, and this situation reminded everyone that Choppa and YoungBoy have been circling each other for a long time. Their earliest friction came from a misunderstanding involving loyalty, distance, and the perception that Choppa was aligning himself with people YoungBoy didn't rock with. From there, small moments snowballed into bigger rumors. Fans replayed clips where YoungBoy seemed irritated with Choppa's rise. They replayed old videos where Choppa hinted that certain artists were acting tough online. None of these moments were direct shots, but the energy was there, and hip-hop fans pick up on energy faster than anything else. Then came the comparisons. Choppa's early music had a similar aggression to YoungBoy's style, and people online constantly tried to pit them against each other. Instead of ignoring it, the industry leaned into it. Reaction pages, comparison videos, fan arguments, it all built tension that didn't need any help growing. Over time, Choppa tried distancing himself from negativity, focusing on spiritual growth, self-improvement, and positive messaging. But even then, people kept dragging his name into YoungBoy-related conversations. YoungBoy's fan base treated Choppa like a rival even when Choppa wasn't looking for conflict. This created an environment where every little action was interpreted as shade. So when YoungBoy dropped his latest diss, it wasn't just a random attack. It was a continuation of a long, complicated history. This is why Choppa's calm response felt so powerful. He didn't go back to the old energy. He didn't let history pull him into emotional chaos. He stayed still, almost like he had outgrown certain reactions. But make no mistake, the streets felt the tension anyway. Even when Choppa spoke calmly, the situation stayed charged. Bloggers began posting breakdowns of the entire timeline of their feud. Long Twitter threads resurfaced old clips and comments to explain how the disrespect reached this point. TikTok creators posted edits showing their early similarities, shifting paths, and eventual friction. And with every new compilation, fans grew louder about wanting a real showdown. But at the same time, many people said Choppa's maturity was proof of evolution. They respected the fact that he didn't jump to anger. They said it made him look even stronger. Still, everyone waited, not because they wanted violence or negativity, but because hip-hop has always been fueled by competitive fire. Diss tracks, rivalries, art versus art, bar versus bar. And with Choppa and YoungBoy being two of the most emotional and expressive young rappers of their generation, this story wasn't ending with one message. This was just the middle chapter, and both sides knew it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. More breakdowns are coming. A few days after Choppa broke his silence, rumors surfaced that someone from YoungBoy's camp had more music on the way. Whether it was real or exaggerated didn't matter. The internet ran with it. People began saying YoungBoy had a full series of subliminals lined up. Fan pages claimed he was planning a trilogy of disses. Even though none of this was confirmed, the idea alone was enough to send the culture into speculation overdrive. This put even more pressure on Choppa. His supporters wanted him to respond musically. They said the only way to match YoungBoy's aggression was with bars, not words. They flooded his comments, telling him to drop the track, stop holding back, and end this feud for real. It made the environment around Choppa 10 times more intense than before. But instead of panicking, Choppa stayed cool. He continued posting content unrelated to the beef, worked on new music, and maintained the same calm energy he had from the start. The fan base noticed he wasn't letting YoungBoy drag him into reactionary chaos. But behind the scenes, those studio sessions kept leaking. Short clips of heavy beats, aggressive flows, serious writing. Even though nothing was officially tied to YoungBoy, fans insisted that Choppa was cooking something direct. Meanwhile, industry insiders began weighing in. Some said the feud was good for rap because competition keeps the culture alive. Others said both artists needed to chill to avoid escalating something that didn't need to go too far. No matter what side they took, the conclusion was the same. This situation was turning into one of the biggest young artist rivalries of the decade. The blogs didn't help either. They posted headlines that made everything sound 10 times more dramatic. They took small quotes and blew them up. They turned harmless comments into full-blown storylines. This kept both artists trending, which only intensified the pressure for the next move. YoungBoy's fans kept taunting Choppa online, making edits clowning him, using old clips out of context, and pushing the narrative that YoungBoy won already. Choppa's fans pushed right back, arguing that maturity isn't weakness and that Choppa wasn't letting the industry manipulate him into unnecessary beef. The tension became a digital battlefield, with millions of fans debating hourly about who would drop next. But here's the truth. Choppa wasn't scared. He wasn't ducking anything. He just refused to let the internet dictate his timing. That alone frustrated his critics and impressed his supporters. Still, as each day passed, the pressure increased. Even if Choppa didn't want a war, the fans demanded one. And in hip-hop, fan demand can become louder than the artist's own intentions. This feud wasn't done, it was evolving. The intensity hit a breaking point when Choppa finally went live and addressed the situation in real time. He didn't rant, he didn't yell, he didn't start unnecessary drama. Instead, he broke it down calmly, explaining that he doesn't react to everything, doesn't fear anyone, and doesn't move for clout. He said his focus is on growth, music, and staying grounded. But he also made it very clear, disrespect doesn't go unnoticed. Fans dissected this live session frame by frame, trying to figure out what he truly meant. His tone was calm, but his eyes and energy suggested he wasn't letting anything slide. He hinted that he had something coming, but didn't specify what. That one line sparked chaos. Was it a diss track, a music video, a freestyle, something subtle, something explosive? Nobody knew, but everybody felt something was in motion. Meanwhile, in the days that followed, Choppa's streaming numbers began rising. His engagement increased. His name stayed trending. Whether this feud was organic or not, it boosted visibility on both sides. And in hip-hop, visibility is part of the game. But this wasn't just about clout. This was about respect. Choppa made it clear that he wasn't a newcomer anymore. He wasn't the young viral rapper from 2019 trying to prove himself. He had a catalog, a movement, a message, and he wasn't going to let anyone act like he was smaller than he is. Fans appreciated that energy. They said he handled the situation with maturity but still kept the competitive fire lit. They said he elevated the conversation without backing down. They said he showed growth without losing edge. On the flip side, YoungBoy's supporters continued taunting him, saying he talked too much and didn't act fast enough. They claimed YoungBoy lives in the studio and could drop 3 disses before Choppa finishes one. Whether true or not, the narrative added tension. And just when the culture thought things were calming down, Choppa posted a video in the studio. The instrumental playing in the background was dark, heavy, and aggressive. No lyrics were revealed, but one line stood out. Sometimes the loudest move is silence. Fans lost their minds. They said this was confirmation that he had a diss locked in. They said he was about to snap. They said the calm tone earlier wasn't peace, it was preparation. And just like that, the feud reached its most unpredictable moment yet. The next move could come from either side. At this point, both artists were positioned to shake the internet whenever they dropped something new. As the smoke clears, at least for now, one thing is obvious. The feud between NLE Choppa and NBA YoungBoy isn't just about music. It's about identity, respect, evolution, and the way the internet pressures every conflict into a spectacle. Both artists built fan bases that ride for them with extreme loyalty. Both built careers filled with intensity, raw emotion, and real-life storytelling. That's why this back and forth hits differently. It isn't a manufactured beef, it's two dominant energies that keep colliding. YoungBoy's diss didn't destroy Choppa. It reignited a competitive flame that Choppa hasn't shown in a long time. Choppa's response didn't intimidate YoungBoy. It made the rivalry more strategic, more layered, and more unpredictable. This isn't a one-sided feud. It's a heavyweight exchange where every move affects the momentum. The culture can feel something big is brewing. Choppa's silence speaks volumes. His hints suggest intention. His growth suggests he's choosing his moment carefully, not reacting impulsively. At the same time, YoungBoy's reputation for relentless output means he could drop something else at any second. The unpredictability is what makes this one of the most electric rivalries of the year. Fans on both sides are fueling the pressure. They push the narrative like they're part of the battle. They clip every sentence. They analyze every lyric. They turn every post into a headline, and hip-hop lives off that energy, the tension, the speculation, the anticipation. But the truth is simple. Neither artist is backing down. Choppa is evolving, but he's not soft. YoungBoy is aggressive, but he's not reckless. Both know how the game works, and both understand how these moments shape careers. Whether Choppa drops something next week or next month, fans will be waiting. Whether YoungBoy fires again or stays silent, the tension remains. This feud is far from over. It's just entering its next phase. And when the next move hits, the entire culture will feel it instantly. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next breakdown of this evolving hip-hop storyline.